cell phone charger's back there if you need one.
Oh, thank you.
How's your time here in Chicago so far?
It's good. We live in the suburbs, so,
Sure.
you know. Not too far from home, but a nice little getaway away from home.
Coming in for a little shopping.
Well, we actually didn't do
Window
any shopping.
shopping.
Window shopping.
There we go.
Coming in for time away from our children is
There we
really
go.
what it's at.
That's the real value.
Yeah, we can go shopping anywhere.
That's true.
Can't be away from our kids at our house.
No, they're just always there until they're gone, and then
Right?
you miss them.
Oh, that's what I hear, but we'll see.
How old are your kids?
1, almost 4, and almost 6.
Oh, okay. So 4 and 6, or 1, 4 and 6?
1, yeah.
Okay.
Right now, 1, 3, and 5, but
1, 3, 5. I see, but then almost 4, almost 6.
she'll be 4 in a few weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that's it? 3, you're done?
We are done.
Okay.
Done and done.
Done and done. I have one daughter. She's 9.
Okay.
And I'm Mexican, though, so, like, I'm legally required to have way more kids.
So are you getting fined? Do you get a ticket? What happens? for not
Yeah,
having?
basically you go to jail. And
You go to family jail.
Yeah, family
You get
jail.
fined by the guilt of your family.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really what it is. My grandma's like, only one? Like, where's the rest? Like, what are you doing? She had like 9 kids also, all of her
my
kids.
gosh.
Yeah, so, and she was one of like 8 or 10.
How many siblings do you have?
So I have 4 that I know of.
4
I'm
that
one
you
of
know
5.
of.
Yeah, my dad got around a lot. So
Okay,
it was one of
okay.
those. He actually passed away recently, and I was like half expecting somebody to show up and that I didn't know. And it's still not out of the pocket of
Have you done
possibility.
23andMe? You never know. You could find.
And that's exactly why I did 23andMe. I signed up for it, and I signed up for the other one is Ancestry. And
Okay.
I'm just like, put the feelers out there. If anybody's out there that's related to me, I'll find them.
My friend's sister,
Uh-huh.
her in-laws did 23andMe, and
Uh-huh.
they found out they were cousins.
Oh,
And
like that she was married to somebody she was related to?
yeah,
Oh, that's
they
fun.
had grown kids. You know, they have grandkids together. They like it, but apparently it did a number on them.
Oh, yeah.
Mentally, they had to go see a therapist. It was not. I don't think it was first cousins. I think it was like second cousins. But still, that's.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah.
And there's a few of those stories out there where that's exactly what does happen. So that's exactly what you have to do. It's like, well, you're here, you're already there. The kids exist. It's too late now.
Yeah.
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 That's fun. But, I mean, I guess the consolation is that if you look at the history of humans on planet Earth, like, that type of breeding has been a thing that's occurred. Cool, cab driver. All right. That's just always been a thing that's occurred.
Right.
So it's all right. You know, it's fine. But are they okay now?
I think they're okay. I think so.
They still like stay together.
Yeah, they stay
married?
together.
Okay.
A testament to the power of therapy.
Yeah. Oh, one of you needs to. Oh, the middle has to be buckled. That's all.
Oh, sorry. There's a bag here. Really pissed off at you.
Yeah, you can just buckle it with the bag there.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it'll stop making that. There we go. Unfortunately, I don't know how to disable
Stop that.
feature.
Yeah.
Right, because it's really annoying.
I mean, I appreciate it because I'm a stickler about seatbelts being buckled before you
Sure.
even start driving.
Oh,
and
for sure.
a lot of people are just like, I'm going to hang out back here.
Right.
So, but yeah, with the bag there,
Yeah.
it's not a very heavy bag to trigger it.
Right, and it still just went off. So go. Yeah. And some people, I totally get you. Some people are like, just go, and I'm like, I have to go, and then the beeping makes them buckle.
Yep. They're like, I'm going to go, but you're going to have to hear this beeping until. See, now we get our lake tour.
Yeah, that's right. Not much to see of the lake today.
Do you live in the city?
I do, yeah. I'm in the north side, Edgewater.
Okay.
Yeah, I quite like it. It's I'm at the part of the city where you forget you're in a city.
I was gonna say, does it still? It feels more neighborhoody.
Yeah, it's really nice. I'm like 2 blocks from the lake.
Okay, nice.
I bought it in 2021, so like I timed the market very well.
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, it's great. It's a great neighborhood. Every type of food is like literally on my block.
Nice.
So it's great.
What are the school like? What are the schools like around you? I'm assuming your daughter goes to school around
She
you.
does. Well, so her mother and I are not together, so
Okay.
she lives in Oak Park.
This is what I want.
So she goes to school in
Oak Park has great school district.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the schools around me are also really very advanced. We've got a good private school and then a couple of like Montessori's, which I really like. The
Okay.
publics are actually on par with the ones in Oak Park, which is good. The issue is my daughter, you know how everybody says their kid's so smart. My daughter speaks 3 languages.
Wow.
She's 9 years old. She already knows how to like solve for X. She knows multiplication, long division, and like she's high advanced on reading. They had her do the 7th grade placement test 3 times because she did so well on it. They thought something was wrong with the test.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so she's like super duper smart. And so like public schools really aren't a good place for her. So we've got to find something better. But you know, me and Mom have to agree, which is not going to happen.
But did she, was she trilingual
Growing up, yeah.
So I'm assuming
Mexican,
English, Spanish, and then what's
Greek.
the third one? Greek. Wow. Is her mom Greek?
Kind of. Her mom's raised Greek, but they're one of those. We did the 23andMe
Okay.
and found out that my daughter is 0.4% Greek,
Oh my gosh.
and she gets that from me. Yeah, her mom is Iranian.
Oh.
Yeah, and they didn't know. They are raised Greek. She goes to Greek Orthodox Church, and they speak Greek, but they're Iranian.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very interesting. You all are missing your escaping before Chicago goes real crazy today. It's Pride today, so.
Oh my. I didn't realize today was Pride.
Yeah, and that's what everybody
But
says.
it was earlier.
Yeah.
In June.
I think it's usually in the 20s, like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's usually like end of June, but yeah. But so now you see like that like fire truck with the flag on it. They're getting ready for the parade and doing all that stuff. So I couldn't help but overhear. How long do you think somebody should date before they get married?
Oh, and we're talking about my sister.
Okay.
I don't think there is a set time frame. I think every relationship is different, and every couple is different, and it depends where you are in your life.
Sure.
We dated for how long? 4 years before we got engaged. But we met. I was 20. We were kids, right? And my sister is how old? She's 31. So I think it's a little bit of a different time in her life.
Sure. Do you think that has something to do with it, where if somebody's in their 30s, they're already cooked, they know who they are, they know what they're looking for?
Well, maybe to an extent. I think every person is different, so maybe they don't know who they are.
Sure.
But I do think you have to be like in a headspace where that's what you want and you're ready for that.
Definitely.
And maybe there are some people in their early 20s that's what they want and they're ready for that. But I knew I wanted to get married and have kids, but not at 23. I didn't want that. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah. So you waited a little while?
We did, although we did move in together after 8 months, so I don't know. I guess
Sure. 8 months, that's not bad. Or is that quick?
I think it was quick when we were young.
Sure. I've had a few dating girlfriends where we moved in pretty quick, but all of those didn't work out, so maybe
Right.
that was...
So that's what we lived in San Francisco. So
I grew up an hour from there.
Oh, really? Where'd you grow up?
Santa Rosa?
Oh, I love Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
I worked at a camp near Santa Rosa.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. So you two are from California then?
He is. I'm not.
Ah.
Yeah, Southern California though.
Nice. So I lived in, I grew up in the North Bay, and then I moved to LA for my 20s.
Okay.
And this number is a 323 Los Angeles phone number. I'll
Okay.
never give it up.
He has a 510 area code.
So you know what's up. That's great. Yeah, so like I'm here until my daughter's 18, and then I'm back
You're
in
back
California.
in California. So
Yeah.
what brought you to the Midwest?
Her
Really?
mom. Yeah, her mom is from here. So when we split up, she moved here with my daughter. So I came too.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's commitment.
Yeah. Well, you know, being a dad is very important to me.
Yeah. So are you done? Would you have? We're probably.
Turns out you need 2 people to have kids.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know.
But if you found another person, we're getting real personal.
Sure, I'm all for it too. Yeah, I would love to. I want to have more kids, and this is exactly the issue with dating. Is a lot of people don't want to have kids because it's really hard to survive. It's hard to live. It's hard to make money.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Right. And
Having kids is not cheap.
I'm well aware. Custody battles are more expensive. Anyways, but the with having kids, with raising them and all that, most people are like, I'm noticing the generations are saying, I want to be able to provide, whereas that's never happened before.
Yeah.
Nobody ever thought of it. People just had kids, usually on accident, and then just figured it out as you go, which I think is the way to do it. That's just how good. You know, my kid was not planned. It was not wanted or expected in any way, and it just happened that way. So just, you know, it goes that way, and I think you can work it out. But yeah, with dating, it's very tricky. And I find it's either people don't want to have kids, or the women that do want to have kids that are in their 30s just care that I have a pulse. They don't want to know me. They don't care about who I am, do we get along. They're just like, he'll do. That's it. We'll go. And I want someone who likes me for me.
Yeah.
Which is the problem, because I'm me, and that's not going to happen.
Oh.
I'm also a comedian.
Okay, I was like, that was very self-deprecating, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as you get older and you get accustomed to a certain lifestyle, the idea, if you've never had the strong desire to have kids, you then have the strong desire to keep that lifestyle.
Absolutely.
And the idea of having to give that up or not being able to live that same lifestyle is worse than the idea of not having kids.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Some people are like, I just want to live this way. I want to have what I have and experience that, which makes sense. But I'm sure you two are well aware having kids is the best and worst part of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so I really enjoy it. I really loved being a dad, and like I miss changing diapers. Like I loved changing diapers with my daughter. It was like it was something I always did.
I love being a dad, but I won't go that far.
Although I would say you change way more diapers than me.
Good for you. Yeah. Right, because I figure if a baby's pooping, that means all systems are going. That kid's growing. Everything's the way it should be. And my daughter, she was breastfed until she was 2, so it really didn't stink that bad. And yeah, it was fun. It was a little thing I would always say. She'd like have a full diaper. I'm like, "Do you got cacao for me?" She goes, "No, it's pumpkin pies. I got pumpkin pies." And her mom hated that because pumpkin pies were her favorite, and we ruined it for her, which was great.
You loved that.
Yes. It was a bonus because I'm not a fan of pumpkin pie.
But don't you hate when you put on a fresh diaper and then they decide to poop and then you have to change it again?
Yeah, and then
what a waste of money. Do you know how much diapers cost? A lot per diaper.
They're not cheap. You're right, they're not cheap. And when my daughter was first born, her mom was like, I'm gonna make the diapers. I'm gonna like do cloth diapers.
Oh,
so
gosh.
that whole process. That lasted 1 round.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like you get the ones where like you wake up, you put the baby, you change, you put a new diaper on, and when you're going to close it, they'll like poop again and fart, and they'll get like an explosion of baby poo on you.
Oh, that's only happened one time
Yes.
with all of our 3 kids.
See?
Remember when Sadie like sprayed? River's never done that.
It just happens.
What's your daughter's name?
Isabella.
Isabella.
Yeah. So do you have all girls then?
2 girls and a boy.
2 girls and a boy.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you trying for a boy, or did it just work out that way?
We were trying for whatever
Just make the
was
baby.
given
Yeah.
to us. Yeah.
There you go.
He has 3 sisters, so I think we wouldn't have been shocked if we had all girls.
Sure. Yeah.
And I think I was pretty done at having after 2 kids, and we had 2 girls.
And
then-
the twins.
Nope,
Oh,
just one right after. We had our first and then our second, and they were both girls.
sure.
And I thought I was done. We were done.
Turns out not.
Discussions changed that,
Okay.
and then when we found out with our first whether the gender, because I think we both really wanted a girl first, right? You wanted a girl first too.
Yep, I was so happy when...
We were so happy. And then with our second, I was like, I have my girl. I don't really care if it's a boy or a girl. We have everything we need. Let's not find out. There are few things in life that you can be surprised about, and either way, you're going to be happy.
Right. That's very true. It's a great way to put it.
And then our third, we just wanted to know.
Sure.
We were just like, okay, this is our last one. Let's find out.
Yeah.
And I again didn't care. I would have been happy with 3 girls.
Sure.
But I think you were pleasantly surprised.
I was absolutely
Sure. That that it was a boy. We had read it over twice. The results of our test. Because we did a blood test. It wasn't like an ultrasound. Oh, there's the penis.
Oh, really? Is it ultrasound? They can tell that, or through a blood test, they can tell that?
Yeah, they can actually tell it way earlier through a blood test. Yep.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and it's with like 99.9%, 99.99% accuracy.
Nice.
Whereas ultrasounds, they,
Yeah, they could just have a hand there.
They can be wrong.
Yeah, they can be. That's really interesting.
Yeah. But I think he fits in perfectly. And I don't know if we'd be ready for all the drama that comes with if we had another one like our second.
Does she have a lot of personality?
She has the most personality.
Oh, that's great. Is she very creative and dramatic, or just
dramatic?
Just dramatic.
That's fun. That can be that way.
She's almost 4, and the last few months have been a vast improvement from like any time up until this point.
Sure. Well, the terrible 2s also go to the 3s.
I know.
And it's because of brain development. There's parts of the brain that are actively developing that are like the emotional side, like crying and tantrums and being angry are all what's developing.
Yeah.
So they express it because it's happening. They don't know. They didn't have it before in the same way. And it just, in order for the neurons to create and fire, they have to go off. And that's why you have kids that have tantrums at that age.
We had our oldest was super easygoing, calmest, chillest.
Yeah.
She wasn't very smiley, which is what we now have with our third. He's also calm and chill, but also super smiley. So she was just like, she just loved to sit and stare and at people, and she very smart as well. And so we never went through anything with her until she turned 4, the first 6 months of 4. But she also was like cold turkey, not napping anymore. So I think that probably had a little bit to do with it.
Sure.
So we were not ready for our second to be so much.
Sure. Did you space them out then?
They're 22 months apart.
Okay.
So
Give them a little bit
we
of
took
time.
a little bit more of a break between the second and the third because she was a lot in our second.
Sure.
In the best ways too.
Oh, of course.
She's also like the lovey one, and she's way more lovey-dovey than our first.
Yeah, see, there's always a 2 sides to the coin, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's the good and the bad, and you as a parent get to experience both of those. So
Yeah.
that's great. So how did you 2 meet?
We both were servers at California Pizza Kitchen in San Francisco,
Ooh, which one?
in downtown San Francisco.
Okay. So I'm trying to remember.
3rd and Market.
Okay. So yeah, I went on a date on that one. At that one, it was like my very first date.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
How
when
many
I was
years?
18.
Oh, 18.
So it was like 20 years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, that was exactly that one, because that's the one near the Tenderloin, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I used to walk through the Tenderloin.
Yes. So I used to work there because I was in a cult for a little while.
Shut up.
Yeah,
What?
I was at the Church of Scientology. I worked at the one there on Market Street before they moved.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I worked.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And so my first girlfriend I met there. That's one of my jokes. Where it's like my personality's so bad I had to join a cult to get a girlfriend. So, yeah. So we went there. Went to California Pizza Kitchen on like our first date, and the little movie theater that's right up.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Small world.
Yeah.
So you 2 met as servers there?
Yeah, he had So he's from Southern California and went to UC Santa Barbara.
Uh-huh.
And I'll speak for him as he tries to catch up on work. And then moved to San Francisco. I'm from Wisconsin. I went to school in Minnesota and graduated and wanted to have an adventure on my own. So I moved to San Francisco by myself. And I had worked at California Pizza Kitchen in college, and so I was able to transfer.
Nice.
And that's how we met. And then a few years later, we realized we're not going to have kids here and be able to buy a house here. And
sure, it's
we
crazy.
lived in a studio apartment in Pacific Heights.
Okay.
And we didn't want to be servers, like that. We were in our early 20s, and it was our adventure. And then we moved back to the Midwest, and he got his MBA and started a job downtown Chicago like 3 days later.
Oh, wow.
And we moved from Milwaukee to Chicago, and I was 7.5 months pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And then been here ever since.
Sure. So did you go to the burbs, or were you working and living downtown?
We lived in corporate housing downtown for a month.
Okay.
And then we moved to Northbrook.
Gotcha.
To an apartment, and then we bought our house a year later.
Nice.
In the burbs.
Sure.
Yeah. I think when we moved, I was pregnant when we moved here, so I had these pipe dreams of going back to city living. Because we in San Francisco, we walked everywhere, we didn't have cars, but then I started to make a list of like everything that I needed out of a place to live if we had a baby.
Yeah.
And as the list got longer, the price tag went up.
Right.
And it was unrealistic to be able to live in a city.
Sure.
And so the burbs it was, and I love living in the suburbs.
No, they're great. Having the space, having all the room. If you do have a car, just being able to park it without thinking about it is really nice.
We live across the street from our daughter's elementary school.
Oh, wow.
So we'd literally walk her to school every day.
Oh, that's so nice.
There's probably 7 playgrounds within a mile of us that we can walk to.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So
that's great. Yeah. And see, the Edgewater area I'm in is very much like that too. There's a ton of little parks everywhere you can go to, plus the lake has a ton of parks. And it's, like I said, it's really quiet. Like every school, there's 4 schools that are all a couple of blocks away, which is really convenient.
Yeah.
But like I don't have a yard, so
yeah.
It's like, all right, if I'd really love to be able to like grow food outdoors, in the springtime and have a garden, but it's just not something you get in a city. Or like you said, the price tag is obscene. And but what's nice is it is so much cheaper here compared to the Bay Area or anywhere in California.
Yeah.
I work in tech 9 to 5. I'm a cloud infrastructure engineer.
Okay.
And out there, I qualified for financial aid, making 6 figures. But here, it's like you could just buy a house and then another one and another one. It's no problem. And it was just really a stark contrast. But the sushi is so much better over there.
Well, yeah, we don't live by an ocean.
Yeah. So. And then I'm Mexican, so the Mexican food I can be a little judgy out here. I've yet to find a spot.
There's not any good Mexican food in the suburbs either.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist.
It's not gonna happen. So do you think when the kids are 18 out of the house, you're gonna go back to the West Coast?
No.
No.
I think we're happy in the Midwest.
All right.
Our family's over here.
Sure.
My family is, and his, despite being from California, he has 3 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And they all slowly moved to the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
So now they're all near each other, and then his parents moved there, so it's a 2-hour plane ride for us.
Sure.
It's way more convenient here than if we were on the West Coast.
That's true.
And also just the cost of living there is outrageous.
Absolutely.
Would you want to move back to California? No.
No, but I mean, if we had unlimited resources, then for sure I'd want to live in Santa Barbara or I don't know.
San Diego?
I've never really explored it, but you say it's
I love
awesome.
San Diego.
That's when I'm leaving here, that's where I'm going.
Yeah. We were both just in LA separately, but I don't have any desire to move to LA.
Yeah, I
don't
do
think
love
you
LA.
do either.
But, you know, I guess it just depends on how old I feel when I move back. If I want to do the hustle and bustle or not. That's
Yeah.
the question. So we'll see. But yeah, no, I love San Diego. I went, I think, 2 years ago. I have a friend that lives out there, and we just bummed around for like a week. It was so nice. And again, I'm a California boy, so like if it's cold, like this 74 degrees, I'm like, I need a jacket. This is a little chilly for me.
And he's the opposite. Like, he likes the cold.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so maybe that was it. You had the Midwestern blood. You were ready for it already. Not me. I tell people I'm a desert person. I'm a lizard. I need the heat. I can't. I am solar powered. So you have your MBA. What do you do out here?
I work for as a investment analyst. So I spend a lot of time interviewing portfolio managers and trying to get a sense for whether their funds are worth investing in.
That's really interesting. I had somebody also who works for doing one of the applications they were telling me about.
Oh yeah.
And they're like a local Chicago thing, is what she was explaining. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I said, yeah, they had corporate housing, which is pretty unique for a lot of businesses to have places for you like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you work also, or do you get to be a stay-at-home?
No, I could never be I said I would be a great stay-at-home wife, but not a good stay-at-home mom. No, I work also. I work for headquarters are also here in Northbrook.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice. So what do you do for...
I work technically in HR, but kind of on the tech side of HR I work on our human resources information system.
Okay.
Workday. I don't know if you're familiar with Workday.
Very familiar.
Yeah.
Used to work at Workday headquarters in the Bay Area.
Okay, yeah. What did you do for Workday?
I was a server systems engineer.
Okay.
So I would make all the stuff for all the websites, I would just make those servers work.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's still what I do now, but I do it for a large Canadian bank.
Okay.
And then Boeing might be trying to hire me. We'll see.
Nice.
Yeah. What's nice about the job is like I can do it from home. So I can do like more than one.
Yep.
Which is nice. But I don't get to talk to people, which is why I do this.
Uh-huh.
Plus, I get to mine from material when I talk to people.
Yeah.
Test out jokes, see if I can get a laugh or two.
Do you do stand-up in the city?
I do, yeah, all over. So I'm still very not famous, so I do open mics.
Okay.
But yeah, just work, see if I can get a laugh and try it out. That's basically it.
Well, our 3-year-old has some great jokes if you need some that she has made up on her own and are, for some reason, the funniest things.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Why don't you tell one?
Okay.
No,
Should I tell the one that I thought was the funniest?
Well, did I also?
Yeah,
I
that's the
hope
one you
so.
laughed at.
I thought it was great.
What did the pig say to the moose?
Oh, God. Okay, what do they say?
Bah.
Bah. What?
It makes no sense, but
None.
it had me on the floor laughing. Like, what?
That's great.
Yep.
Just good absurdist humor.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
Yep.
Yeah, I got my daughter, she likes when I do magic tricks and comedy. So we would do that. There was this one open mic that I would do where if you were not funny, you had to take a shot of hot sauce. If you were funny, they give you a shot of Fireball. And so I would usually get a little of both.
Uh-huh.
And I told her about how I was doing that, and she's like, "That's great." I was like, "But she's like, we're not doing that." So we got these Warheads, like squirter
Yep.
juice thing, and so we would do that. We would try and make each other laugh. And
Oh
we
my
had to
gosh,
make-
that's funny.
Yeah. But so she was funny. So that's great. She just decided to come up with a joke, which is fun.
They like. Well, her older sister likes to come up with jokes, and she likes to follow suit.
Sure.
Her older sister's jokes are more intentional.
Okay.
Like, what was it? Oh, what does a witch eat on the beach? A sandwich.
Sure, that's a
Right, you know, she's trying to like be intent.
Yeah.
I don't think she's making those jokes up though.
You think she's hearing them?
That one's definitely, been done. But she still has the ear for it. I bet you that's, I always say it's like a lot like drawing. You know, you trace before you can draw.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with humor. She's seeing that it's funny, that there's irony in the words.
What was the other one that Zara said that I thought was funny? I don't know.
What are your kids' names?
We have
Oh, those are great names.
thanks.
What was your process for picking names?
Oh, we had quite an extensive process.
Yeah.
So my name is Abigail.
Okay.
It's but I've never gone by that my entire life. So I was named that. I'm Jewish in Judaism.
I was gonna say it sounds Israeli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Judaism, they have for boys they have a bris. I'm sure for girls they have a baby naming. So we even found the pamphlet from my baby naming that said, and that's when you get your Hebrew name. But my Hebrew name is the same as my actual given name. And it said on the pamphlet Abigail to be called Abby. So I've been called Abby with a B my entire life.
Okay.
And so one of the requirements was we're not going to name our kids something, just to call them something else.
Sure.
We also need to test the viability of the name, like can people say it? If you see it,
Yeah.
are you going to mispronounce it? Our last name is Green Gold, so anything with a color was kind of out
Ah, okay.
because
Green, gold, don't.
that's
Not too many
potential
colors.
for being made fun of.
Sure.
And then we also didn't want like a top 100 name. So we verified, cross-checked every name with the Social Security Administration website.
Wow.
And we had an Excel spreadsheet. We had what he thought, what I thought, and what society would think. So yes or no.
Okay. Okay.
With our oldest, we had narrowed it down to 2 names, right? And so we went a week with trying to call her by that name.
Okay.
And seeing, like, did it feel right? Did we say it? Just did it feel right?
Sure. After she
And
was born?
This was, no, before she was born, when I was
just
pregnant.
saying. I
Yeah.
see.
So whatever time we would talk about the baby, we would refer to her by
Sure.
these names. Neither of them felt right. And I don't know how we came up. I think it a name we had discussed early on, but we just it kind of, I don't know, it just fell off our list. And then like a month or 2 before she was born, we decided on it, and that was it.
Wow.
And then our second, we didn't know, so we had a boy name and a girl name picked out. And our third, you came up with the name. I came up with it.
Gotcha.
I had the girl pick, he had the boy pick.
Okay.
The boy pick was Luca. I don't know if you remember, but there's a movie, Luca,
Yeah.
that came out right after she was born, or pretty soon after she was born, so that
Yeah.
was out for
Right.
our third for a boy.
Right. Don't
Too
want
popular.
Too popular.
Yep.
Don't want her to be referenced as a sea monster. Sure. It was a good movie. My kid
It
really liked
was.
it. Yeah. Oh, that's fun. Wow, you
Yeah.
put a lot of thought
We
into
did.
the
We also
naming.
tested them by our oldest. So another name we both really liked was Elia. There was a girl in her daycare class named Talia who used to bite her.
Oh, no.
And so anytime we'd have her say Elia, she'd say Talia, and then she'd say no.
No. Oh,
And
man.
so we were like, hey, we can't do that.
That's
That
a
one's
no-no.
out.
Yeah, that one's out. That's a no-no. Wow.
Yeah, we had quite a strict requirements for what our... But I think it worked out pretty well.
Sure. And I think it's important. I feel like to a degree a person's name says a lot about who they are. They kind of, their personality can fit it
Yeah.
usually. And so you're right, you're kind of determining a lot in that way for
Yeah.
a person. So it can be.
And then we used the middle names to be after someone, or
Yeah.
the middle names was where the significance was. Because we wanted it to be in memory or of someone or for someone. So
Sure. Oh, that's smart. Yeah, my daughter and her sister and mom all have the same middle name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's the middle name?
Athena.
Athena. Is that I know. So, our brother-in-law, or his brother-in-law, is Greek, and so they named their son. So in Greek culture, the son is named the same name as the grandfather.
So is it George, Nick, or
Yeah.
Chris?
So it's George. Yep.
There's like 4 Greek names up here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they were. I don't know if that same tradition is with middle names for.
No, she
women,
just did
or
it
she
because
just did it.
yeah, she just did it because she's like, well, she's gonna get your last name. What's she gonna get from me?
Okay.
So she said, I'm gonna put my middle name on there, and it happened to match with her older sister too. My daughter, we also didn't give her a name until like the second day she was alive. The hospital was like, you need to do something. You need to settle.
You need
on
to fill
something.
out the form.
Yeah, fill out the form. We can't.
You couldn't decide on it?
No, we couldn't.
Did you know if it was a boy or a girl?
We did. We
Okay.
did find out it was going to be a girl, and we went through a ton of names. I had 0 say in it at all. So it was just her mom would test out, same thing, kind of test out names here or there. I did want her to be like, why don't you name her after your mom or your grandma? And so, her older sister is named after her grandma. So I was like, we'll just name her after I guess it would be great grandma. Oldest is named after great grandma. So why don't you name after grandma? Because I like it. Her name's Sophie. I was like, oh, it's just a cute name. I like it, Sophie, Sophia. It's a good name. And then we went through a couple others, Zoe, and like just a few different ones to test them out. And her mom, and this got stuck in her head, she had read somewhere that like if you try and come up with a name while you're pregnant and you have morning sickness, you're going to associate that name with morning sickness. You're not going to want to have that name.
It's so untrue. I had morning sickness my entire pregnancies, all 3 of them. So
okay, and it didn't work. And
I don't associate anything with throwing up other than being pregnant.
Right. So and I say, yeah, do whatever. People come up with whatever. So
That's so funny.
Yeah, and what it ended up being is we went with Isabella, and what she said is that when she was born, she looked at her and said, "Oh, that's my little Bella," and like meaning like little beauty, like meant the little,
yeah.
And so she didn't even think to call her that. We just didn't have a name for it or whatever. But then after like a day and a half, she says, "I think this is it." And I was like, "Cool, let's go for it." And so that's what the name we went. I had to shave my beard so that she would have my last name. So
that was what you agreed to get you the...
We weren't married. We had only known each other for 3 months. So it was that was what I had to do on camera. Yeah. So she had that recorded because she's like, I don't know what your face looks like. I don't know what I'm going to be dealing with. So if you want her to have your last name, you're going to need to shave your beard. I was like, all right, cool. So I shaved it. Did that. So what name do you go by then? If you don't go by...
I go by Abby.
Abby, just Abby. That's a good name. There was a movie that came out my daughter likes, Turning Red.
Yep.
Yeah, Abby, that's her favorite character. Do you get to watch a lot of the kids stuff now? Because the kids only want to watch kids stuff?
I don't watch it with them. I try not to, but we hear it.
All day. Yeah, my daughter's finally starting to like stuff that I'm like, oh, I actually like this. This is good. I'm entertained by this show now. So maybe it'll come eventually.
Are you going to get to be with your daughter tomorrow?
No, I have her next weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do a belated celebration. Or I guess maybe, does she realize it's Father's Day? Maybe they must. They talk about it.
Yeah, and then she has a stepdad, so they're probably doing something. Assuming. Oh yeah, I didn't even know Father's Day was tomorrow. All right, here you are.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. It was nice chatting. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, you too. Okay. Can you grab that? I'll grab this bad boy.
Did you got the trunk, please?
Yep, it's open.